Hello everyone and welcome back to the flight deck. Today we're flying Air Canada Flight 1020 Toronto to Fort Lauderdale. We'll be flying this PMDG Boeing 777-300ER and it is a morning flight. We're about an hour and a half from sunrise. So we'll hopefully get some nice views once we're up in the air. So let's hop on board. We'll get the aircraft set up and ready to go. All right, we're on board now. Got the flashlight on. Let's pop up top. And we can start getting the aircraft set up and ready to go. So working down our initial switchery, we've got the batteries on. Bus tie switches are both to auto. Electric hydraulic panel will come down here. We'll make sure our C1 and C2 electric demand pumps are off. Our demand pump selectors are all off. Wipers are off on both sides. Nav light switch is on. Popping down to the lower panel, our landing gear lever is down. Alternate flap selector is off. Parking brakes are now on. Throttles are in idle. Reversers are stowed. Fuel cutoff switches are in cutoff. We'll pop up top again. External power, primary and secondary, we will now turn on. So there is our primary and there is our secondary. We're going to come over to the APU and we will turn the APU on. Our left forward pump, fuel pump will come on and we can start the APU. And we're now waiting for the APU to fire up and come online. Since we got external power, we'll turn up the dome lights and turn off the flashlight. And we can now pop down here to our EFB. So we're going to come over here into our electronic flight bag and we'll import our flight plan for today. There we go. And we're going to wait for the APU to come alive. So we'll come over to our electrical page. And when that comes up, we'll have our electrical page here. And we'll be able to verify that we are in APU mode. The other way we can tell is if we come up here, we're looking for the secondary power to kick off.
505 PDC correct.
And that will tell us that the APU generator, which is already turned on, has taken over for that. All right, we can now see our secondary power has gone to available. That means the APU is up and running. And the APU generators are on, so we'll turn the auxiliary or the primary external power off as well. And we're ready. So I'm going to carry out with all my switches here, and I'll get back to you when we're ready to start doing the FMC entry into the flight for the flight plan. All right, we're down here ready to start our FMC entry and all that good stuff. So we're here with our database, checking it out. Everything is good, and we are good there. So we're going to go our position initialization. We'll grab our information down and copy it over, and we'll go to our route. We're going to do our route request, and we're flying CYYZ to KFLL. That is good there. Here's our information on our route. We are carrying 351 passengers, and we're going up to 38,000 feet. Distance of 1,070 nautical miles, and our alternate today is Orlando. So we're going to set our payload, we'll set our fuel, and we're going to select that as our route. And we're waiting for that to be sent to us now. And I brought the pad down here. So when we get to our performance, we can do that there. So there's our routes come in. We got the ding, loading our route in.
Clearance Rouge 1954, PDC 6990 Mike, Quebec.
Rouge 1954, PDC is correct, apron 123.
And we will activate and execute. So there's our route, couple of airways, and that takes us down to where we are headed. So we're going to quickly go over to our descent page, and we're going to load in our forecast winds. We will load them in. There we go. They are all in now. Clear the messages. That is all good. Over to our arrival departures. We're going to be taking off on runway. Let's check the weather.
Delivery, good afternoon, Emirates 242, super reachback
PDC. 05 today.
PDC
It's going to
690
change
Echo.
the runway.
Quebec 10173.
Where's 242, thanks, readback is correct. Contact apron 12287 when
There we go. Runway 05.
Emirates 242.
And we are going off on the BETS 3 departure. We'll execute that. And we are going to ERA. And we'll execute that. And again, back to our index and our approach and landing today into Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be the ILS runway 10 left. It's going to be the CUDA 3 arrival. We're joining at Primus, and we're transitioning at Holland. All right, so we will execute that. If we come over to our legs, you can see our departure. We're vectors around, then off to mobile. On departure, we're going to fly down, and when we get to Holland, or Winner, which is the end of the arrival, we're going to vector to Holland, and then we'll head down from there. So that is all good, and we'll head over to our weights and balances. So we're going to enter our zero fuel weight for the flight. Zero fuel weight today is going to be 203.9 tons. That is in. We're going up to flight level 380. Cost index of 80 is all good, and we'll accept all that. And we'll switch over here now and enter in our performance. So we're going off on 05. Airport information is in. Aircraft weights are in. There's our current weather, and we will calculate. So we want to set our TO2 at a cell temperature of 44 degrees.
Thanks, contact apron
That
2287
is set. That's going to give us a climb 2. And over to takeoff. First thing we're going to do is put in the winds. 100 at 12. There we go. We'll switch back over here. So our flaps are going to be flaps 5 today. It's going to give us a center of gravity of 4.75. We got 150, 154, 159, and our takeoff gross weight is going to be 230.9, and that is in. So that is all our performance information is done. I'm going to finish up here. I'll see you for pushback. All right, so we're ready for our push. FMC and CDU setup is complete. CDU pages, we're on takeoff, reference, and legs. ICAS is good. MCP panel is set 169.057, 5,000 feet. Flight deck windows are closed. Flight deck doors closed. APU is on. External power is disconnected. Up to the hydraulic panel now. Right electrical demand pump will go to auto. C12 electrical primary will come on. Fault on 2, no fault on 1. Left electrical demand will go to auto. C1 and C2 air demands will come on to auto. No fault. Seatbelt signs are on. No electric, no smoking signs are on. Fuel pumps coming on. And if we do a fuel pump or fuel check, you can see we have no fuel in the center tanks. So we are not worried about turning on the center tanks. Beacon is now on. Stab trim, we want 4.75. So I'm going to come down, looking down there.
Vector 774, contact apron 12225.
4.5, 4.75 is set. Rudder aileron trims are zeroed. Transponder to XPDR. And we are good for pushback.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
All right, here he comes. It's cold cold February day here. It's not even February, November. This flight is actually the day the video is being released, so November 30th. And let's go see how these guys are doing. All right, looks like we're about ready to go. We're going to go nose left, tail right. That'll point us out of the parking bay.
That's 509 2207.
All right.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, we're ready to start engine. So pushback is coming in. Brakes have been released. Lower center display is set to engines and starting engine number 2. Start selector to start. All right, start valve is open. We're starting to get into rotation. Oh, let me just reset something here. That should do it. There we go. Adding fuel. Good start on engine number 2. We're going to move up top, start engine number 1. And we'll open the fuel valve.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine
So
start.
brakes are set and engine's coming up. So any additional traffic we happen to see is FSLTL.
Good afternoon, crew 284,
And we're waiting for the starter cutoff.
Clear 284, heavy ground, runway 05, altimeter 29907.
And there she is. So we can let them know we've got good start on both engines.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Right, so popping up top, APU is off. Generators are all verified on. Left and right start selector are normal. Engine anti-ice is all on auto. Packs are going to come on in a second. We'll come down for auto brakes and flaps. Auto brakes are confirmed. RTO flaps are flaps 5 selected. And in transit, ECAS recall is good. It's just TCAS. We're on APU cooldown. Doors are locked. Auto brake RTO passenger signs are on. Pushback tug is coming out. Watching for the... There they go. Packs have come online. Gonna turn down the dome. just barely make out the guy walking out there. Alrighty, showing us the pin. We'll give him the wave. He's giving us a wave back. And he is on his way. So before taxi checklist, and we can go taxi light on. And runway turn off lights, we'll leave off. So anti-ice is auto, recall is checked, auto brakes, RTO, flight controls. We'll do that check now.
We're turning northbound.
Quick check. Here's left, right, neutral, forward, back, neutral, and our rudder. And ground equipment is all clear. All right, so we are good to taxi. So we're going to taxi from here out Delta, Quebec, along Delta to Alpha, and then we'll take Alpha to hotel all the way down to the end of 05. So we'll see you down at the runway. All right, we're at the hold line, so we're going to go through our final checks. Auto brakes set to RTO, flaps set to 55, verified. Speed brakes are down and forward. Transponder is now TARA. Weather radar is on.
To Mike Lima, Roger. Exit left onto Foxtrot and contact
MCP is set as required. 169.057.5000. Auto throttles are armed. FMA is set to Toga, and LNAV and VNAV are armed. That is set there. Our CDU page is set. We have takeoff and legs. ICAS is clear. Where's the button? There it is. And we are good, and the cabin crew is notified, and cabin is ready. So we'll come up here, we'll get the lights on, turn off lights are on, taxi off, strobes on, we'll get the wing lights on as well. And we are good to go. We'll take a quick look around. And everything is looking good. And we'll come out and take position on runway 05, which is the northern of the 3 runways that run east-west here in Toronto. So we're going to come down. We're going to take the whole runway, so we'll go right down to hotel.
Boy 3606, wind 110, 12 gusting 18, cleared for takeoff runway 05.
Cleared for takeoff 05 on my 3606.
Air Canada 113 tower, line up runway 05.
Line from 05, Air Canada 113.
And approach path is clear. Now, for some reason, the sim has them using 1.5, which is not what they're doing in real life. I've just checked. Move straight out and take position.
Study 061, cross runway.
And there we go. And we've got the new Bombardier aircraft facility up here on the northwest end of the field.
Air Canada 113,
Building
wind 110,
business
13 gust
jets.
18, cleared for takeoff runway 05.
Take up 05, Air Canada 113.
It's all pretty
Air Canada
cool.
787,
That's the checklist warning. We're going to ignore that. All right, so we are set. Brakes are set. I'm running a paper checklist, so I don't have to worry about it.
Study 061, contact ground.
Engines are up. I'm going to start the timer. And we are rolling. Takeoff power is set.
Airspeed's alive.
Check.
$80 knots.
Check. A little bit of a crosswind.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Canada 787, wind 110.
Not sure why my V speeds didn't kick in there.
Runway 05.
Clear takeoff 05 for Canada 787.
November 979, Whiskey Mike, Toronto Tower, via Juliet, line up runway 05.
Line up on 05, 979 Mike.
Ken 113,
Looks like
contact
everything
departure
got zeroed out.
Air Canada 113.
Interesting. Not sure what happened there.
Arch Jazz 554, 2,300, climbing 5,000.
All right, we're going to set ourselves around onto our first leg. We'll execute, and autopilot is on.
Heading 180, Max Sherman.
All right, flaps 1.
Jazz 705, time 5,000.
15,000, Jazz 705.
Jazz 554, fly heading 130, climb 7,000.
Heading 130, climb 7,000, Jazz 554.
It's 4,000 feet. There's 5,000. We're going to head straight up to our cruise altitude now.
5,000 on the Birdo setup.
Bush 1954, departure low, identify, climb 6,000.
380. And flaps fully retracted.
270, Jazz 705.
So landing gear is verified up, flaps are verified up, auto brakes are off, engine anti-ice is auto, transponder is TARA, confirmed.
Jazz 554.
Carolina Stand 4945, 3,000 right. Dash for 2945, departure low, climb 4,000. 4,000, dash 49.
There's downtown Toronto, you can see the CN Tower, the Island Airport, there's the Harbor Islands. We're going to come down here and then turn off pretty much out over the water. That is looking good.
Direct Oakville on course.
7,000 feet.
Air Transat 986, departure low, identify, climb 6,000.
Climb 6,000, Air Transat 986.
Seem to be out of everybody's way.
Climb 7,000.
97000, Rouge 1954.
Dash for 2945, climb 5,000.
Climb 5,000, dash 2945.
There's the turn.
Bush 1954, proceed direct to Busan on course.
Bearing Bhutan on course, Rouge 1954.
And looking down into that's the Humber River, into the bay there.
And 5166, departure low.
Then there's 10,000 feet, so those lights can come off.
705, proceed direct to Lito on course.
Get those lights off.
Dash for 2945, climb 6,000.
Climb 6,000, dash 2945.
Air Transat 986, fly heading 140.
And the logo and wing lights can come off as well. We'll release the cabin.
Transat 986.
Lima Extra Mike, climb 15,000.
15,000, Lima Extra Mike.
Jazz 705, contact to
They
center.
can do their thing. And we are on our way to Fort Lauderdale. A little bit of weather around us, but should be a good flight. So we'll give you some views on the way down, and when I pick up the narration again, we'll be sending down into Fort Lauderdale. See you then. All right, welcome back. We're descending down into Florida. We have our arrival all programmed in. We're still going for runway 10 left. Winds are currently about 130 degrees at 13 knots. A little bit breezy, a lot of cloud down here today. But other than that, a little bit of a low pressure area, and visibility is okay. So we're heading in, and we should get one more METAR update before we get there. As we work our way down, we're going to switch over now to the local pressure of 2987. Speeds back to 170 as per the approach. And we have to be at 270 at Wilcox and above 15,000 feet. So we're basically going to come down past parallel westbound north of the airfield, and then we'll turn around for the ILS. Today we're going to be parking in the Echo Gates on Concourse E, and probably looking at Echo 5 as we come in. And once again, additional traffic is provided by FSLTL, and if anything gets in the way, we'll see if we can get rid of it. But it is nice to see other aircraft around as we're coming in. There's a bunch of them on the way down here that we saw along the US East Coast. All right, we're continuing our descent now, coming up on Wilcox. Again, we have to be about 15,000 feet. Which we will be. Our next hard level is CUDA. We have to be at 8,250 knots.
Miami, how's it going? American 2724, flight level 240, checking out.
CUDA being our entry point, and we are on the CUDA 3 arrival. This is just one of the feeder legs we're currently on now. So we'll bring our range back to 40 miles. As you can see, we got the rings in, 25 miles standard, and I've put in the 10 and 4 mile rings and an extended runway center line just to help us out with a little bit of situational awareness. And there's a few other aircraft in the area as well. But yeah, a little bit cloudy, but not picking up any storm weather like we had coming out of Toronto and heading south. Down over Pennsylvania and Maryland and all that, it was pretty stormy. But we were above it for the most part. So we'll keep you on board as we head in. And we have to be above 13,000. And we're looking good. We're a little bit above the path here, so what I'm going to do is give it about a couple notches of speed brake. That'll increase our vertical descent. I'll bring us back down to the profile. We're a little bit slippery right now, so to keep our speed, we tend to stay a little bit shallow so we don't go too fast. Once we get our speed down to 260 at Mackle, we'll be able to put out the first notch of flaps, which will help with our speed. Oh, a little bit of stuttering there. Might be because it's loading in the airport. We'll have to see. So we're turning on to Mackle. That's 8 miles out, so we'll bring the speed back to 60, yes, I know the speed brake is extended. I'll bring that in. You can see the speed's going up. We're slowly shallowing our descent as we're now below the profile. That'll help bring our speed back. And we are going to give it just a little bit of speed brake, get that speed down below 265. There we go. There's 265, so we're going to go flaps 1. That'll add a little bit of drag.
Nvidia 6304, Miami Center, squawk 36.
And help control our speed. There's the Florida coast. And again, we're going to come ashore. We're going to cut between Fort Lauderdale International and Fort Lauderdale Executive Airports. And then we'll do a 180-degree turn and come back in for the runway. That's all programmed in, and we are good to go there. See the other traffic in the area. Some of that's out of the executive airport. A lot of private jets. Next restriction again is 10,000 feet. We'll have to be at 250 knots. So that's us through macro. Bring that down to 250.
01310 Miami Center. Direct Putney, descend and maintain flight level 330.
Getting a little bit of speed brake.
Miami Center 133.5. American 2665, connect Miami Center 133.5.
33.5. American.
And there's 10,000 feet. So landing lights go on, turn off lights will go on. We'll get the seatbelt signs back on. The logo lights can go on, and we'll give the cabin an extra ding
Air Canada 931 traffic
as well.
12 o'clock, 30 miles opposite direction to heavy Dreamliner 1,000 feet above. Canada 951, thanks.
Speed brakes are in.
12 o'clock, 30 miles opposite direction, heavy 777 1,000 feet below.
250 knots. Coming down for Cuda. Once we hit Cuda, we're going to slow down to 240. And then at 245, we'll go flaps 5. And we'll slowly start bringing our speed down. We want to be doing about 210 as we pass by the airport.
3405.
405.
All right, so there's Cuda coming up. We're now 24 miles from the airport, so we'll bring our speed down to 240.
Miami American 1545, 19.4, climbing 230.
American 1545, Miami Center, climb maintain flight level 320.
Can do a little bit of speed brake work with that. We'll bring our range down to 20 miles now. And we're below 245, so flaps 5. Again, not only does this decrease the vertical pitch of the aircraft, so brings the nose down so we can see better. Cabin is ready. It also helps control our speed by introducing drag out on the surfaces. All right, there's Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport down there, and International is behind the clouds. So as we come up to Locker, we'll go down to 230. And we're going to just keep ourselves slowing down. I can see the flaps hanging down a little bit. And we're looking good as we come in. So there's locker, speed down to 230. And those flaps will help.
One enter 0230.
Guys, 2347, line center, climb, maintain flight level, you want 36 to 34.
Sheriff will go to 220 and go to 15 degrees flaps.
360 requesting United 2347.
Guys, 2347, climb, maintain flight level 360.
There's Fort Lauderdale International Airport there. Cruise ship terminal, right there. And looks like we've got some shipping out on the water. Florida's a really interesting place. You'll see it as we fly over once you get out where the houses are. It's a lot of waterways and boats. Very interesting landscape down here.
Right,
we're 11.5 miles out from the airport. Looks like there's a couple cruise ships at the terminal.
124.02.
24.02, convoy 4890.
They're on 686, it's going to maintain 1000. And who else called landing?
American 1096 to 3.
There's Sheriff, so coming back to 220 knots.
Abby, hello, it's on wing 520 with you on the handoff.
And as we're below 230, we will go flaps 15.
Wing 520, I forgot.
15 selected. There's Fort Lauderdale executive over there.
330,
Clearing 244, mine center, squawk 1121.
Roger.
Beautiful morning here. A little bit cloudy, but at least it was to the north. It seems to have cleared up down here, which is what they said. Just multiple layers, a few clouds at 3,500, 5,000, 18,000, and 25,000. So not too bad. It is currently 27 degrees down here. And everything is looking good. Okay, there's 6,500 feet. We're going down to 5,000, which will be our hold as we extend out and get ready for our turn in as we come into land. All right, so the ILS is being picked up. We're 4.7 miles out. I see the localizer.
0307 will be on frequency shortly.
All right, there's our turn.
We'll
be descending down to 5,000 feet.
0307 will be on frequency shortly.
Miami Center, hello, Iberia 0307, maintaining flight level 280, direct Canoa.
Iberia 0307, Miami Center, be advised, your company flight 0304 is on frequency, use caution.
We are now calling our company traffic. Thank you, Iberia 0307.
Todd, it's just word of caution. Looking for your call sign.
Roger, thank you.
Air Shuttle 6307, contact line center 128.22.
2822, Air Shuttle 6307.
And we're going to extend out. We're extending out to waypoint Wanair.
Boom Flower 402, connect Havana Center 135.1.
And then we will make the turn inbound for our initial approach fix at Holland, which has just come in, 15 miles out. This gives us a nice long straight entryway into the ILS approach.
Okay, correction. Descend now to flight level 310, then continue to descend via the PEOs, clearwing 244.
Alright, so there's One Air coming up. We're going to switch over to heading select. And we're going to click a couple degrees over just to deal with that little bit of a crosswind we've got pushing us in from the other side.
3736 it is.
Here we go.
Base period 1329, level 330, south of Mike 6.
See aircraft heading in to pick up that initial point. There's 5,000 coming up. 1,000 to go.
Miami Center, hello, November 122, Papa Hotel, flight level 410.
122 Papa Hotel, Miami Center, Roger.
As mentioned, you can see the waterways and everything down there. All right, so when we land, we're looking at getting off somewhere probably in the B8, B9 area. We're then going to taxi back, and it's not a far run to our gate. As mentioned, we're parking on the E-Concourse gate E5, or Echo 5.
Spearling 244, connect Miami Center 133.5.
335244.
There is another aircraft out here. I think he's behind the pillar right now. There he is. He's heading in, so we got to get past him before we make our turn. And we're heading out towards the Everglades, home of the Florida alligators. And I believe Florida is the only place alligators and crocodiles coexist. They got both.
Denver 524 Alpha Golf, one waypoint for you. You're clear direct to McClaw. That's Mike, Charlie, Lima, Alpha, Whiskey, MCLAW, and then direct funding. Proceed with it.
Claw, that's funding before Alpha Golf, thank you.
There you go. Multiple aircraft out here.
United 2360, sorry, United 2347, contact Miami Center 126.52.
2652, United 2347.
Again, we're slowly working down to that 5,000 feet, which is all good. So once we get a little bit beyond Holland here, we are going to slow down to 200 knots. We're going to go to flaps 20. And then we'll make our turn.
Spearling 1349, traffic after 1 o'clock, 35 miles southwestbound.
And that will pick us up on the localizer.
Okay, there, 1329.
American 1494, traffic 12 o'clock, 35 miles up direction, heavy 348,000 kilo. Go with that. American 1494, you copy traffic.
Flight level 180.230.
American 3193 at Miami Center, contact maintain flight level 340.
I'm maintaining flight level 340, American 3193.
American 1494, traffic 12 o'clock, 30 miles opposite direction, heavy 330.
I'm going to give it a little bit more so we can get that turn around, and if I shoot through that extended center line, we'll be able to come back around and pick it up. So we'll give it a few more miles. Probably once we pass through that 25-mile ring.
Then descend via the Bahia for your lava landing east.
And then we're going to set our altitude at 1,800 feet and let the VNAV continue to bring us down.
American 1494 to here, Miami Center, ident.
As we do have that 5,000 foot restriction at Holland. So we got another aircraft coming in front of us. I'm going to make him go away.
Traffic. Traffic.
Let's see how.
Monitor vertical speed.
There we go. He's gone. All right, so speed's coming down to 200. We're going to go to flaps 25.
American 1096 descend via the sandbar for your arrival landing east.
Cynthia, the sandbar arrival landing east for American 1096.
Tampa 4069, contact at
Or flaps 20, sorry. We'll bring our
Tampa 4069.
thing down to 1800, and we are going to be in our turn to intercept. So we're going to go to about 120 degrees.
Flight level 3702, Papa Hotel.
We're a bit far for the localizer, so we'll actually bring it all the way around to, I think it's 97 degrees. We're holding 5,000.
American correction, Spearwing 1310, contact line.
And making our turn for the airport.
5507, 13 singular.
And what we can actually do now that we've come around is put Holland in
American
and go back into LNAV.
Miami Center on guard, contact Miami Center 132.2. American 1494,
there we go.
32.2, acknowledge with an IDEM.
Yes, sir, we got you on 32.2.
I think that's a helicopter down there. We have landing traffic about 7 miles ahead of us.
On the 310, American 1494.
Air Canada 931, contact Miami Center 126.52.
Confirm 12652 for Canada.
All right, so we are lined up. We got to wait for everything to come in, but we are on the nav path inwards. All right, so speed is set, lights are all on, cabin is notified, logo lights on, taxi and turn off lights. Turn off lights are on, taxi light is off, seatbelt signs are on, no smoking is on. We can go to terrain now on this side. That's good. Cabin has been notified, ILS frequency is set, pressurization is done, altimeters are over. And we are good. So auto brakes are set to 3. Speed brakes are now armed. Landing lights are all on. Frequencies are set. And we're just waiting for everything to come in. Vertical path is slowly coming in as we get closer to Holland. As we're holding that 5,000 foot.
18350 and do not speed 75.
Miami United 1092, 18.
Alright, we're waiting for the localizer.
1092, Miami Center, climb and maintain flight level 320.
320, United 1092.
American 1494.
See, we are coming in on a little bit of an angle.
280 knots, Miami altimeter 2910.
Down to 0 to be a runway C280 on the speed will descend the sandbar arrival landed East American 1494.
Basically, we'll run parallel to the highway here. And the airport's just north of it.
Number 122 Papa Hotel, descend via the Bahia 3 arrival, do not exceed 280 knots.
Via the Bahia 3 arrival is not exceed 80 knots.
All right, we're beginning our descent down to 1800, which is the platform altitude for the ILS. Looks like we have the localizer, so we're going to go localizer armed, localizer capture. And we can see the airport ahead. There she is. More traffic around.
American 1096, contact Miami Center 133.5.
There you go.
Looks like we might have aircraft landing on the other runway. He's climbing out anyway, maybe he's turning around. But we're all good down. There's one airplane there, you can see his light there, that's fine. He's above us, going to be 1,000 feet above in a minute. And climbing.
Nvidia 0304, contact Miami Center 126.32.
Glide slope. Approach mode armed.
1329, contact center 133.5 NSM.
335,
So we're below the glide.
0304.
Looking good. Bringing speed down to 185. 14 miles out.
Nvidia 0304, Miami.
Beautiful Florida morning.
For American 1494, sir.
American 1494, yeah, 133.5.
All right, glide slope captured. Fully established on the ILS 10 left.
Nvidia 0304, Nvidia 0304, contact Miami Center 126.32. Acknowledgement and ident. Nvidia 0304, 126.52.
126.52.
3,000 feet.
2652. Sorry, 2632. Number 122 Papa Hotel, contact Miami Center 133.5.
3.5, Super Mondo.
There's 10 miles. Gear down.
American 1818 out of 22 for 23.
American 1818, Miami Center, climb and maintain flight level. You're going 37 or 39?
37, please.
American 1818, climb and maintain flight level 370.
Climb.
Gear down, 3 green, flaps
Miami 3, 1831, flight level 360.
25.
1831, Miami Center, I'll need to offer you an on altitude in a few minutes to request.
6 miles, we'll go to our approach speed, 139 plus 5, so it's going to be a 144 approach, 139 reference speed over the fence. And there's all those bays and houses and pools and everything. They're very Florida-y.
12632. Thank you very much. Nvidia 0304.
So, got another aircraft landing in front of us on the other runway. All right, there's 6 miles, so coming back to 144. And flaps full. Flaps full, gear down, 3 green, lights are all on, cabin is notified. Speed brake arms armed, auto brake set 2, runway is identified.
126.32.
12632, tunneling 520.
1,000. Another cruise ship coming into the port by the looks of it. All right, wind's almost straight down the runway. It should be slightly off to our right when we can finally come in and get low to the ground. There she goes. It's starting to veer. So we're going to have a slight right crosswind, about 8 knots or so. It is fairly breezy, 13 knot winds. .500, I have control.
400. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continue. Gusty winds.
Miami, Maury, Gas 2334, 2334, 370.
Breaking out 2334,
30. 20. 10.
524 Alpha Golf, contact the Venice Center 124.
We're down.
455.
So we're going all the way to the end. Reverser's green, auto brakes 2.
Miami, good day, buddy. 701.
90 knots.
Climbing 230.
791, Venice Center, Roger.
80 knots.
Level 360.
Maintain 360, buddy, 791.
60 knots, manual braking.
Cruise 18,
We're going to get off here at B11.
Maintain level 370, Rouge 1831.
Don't want to hammer the brakes too hard and upset the passengers.
Gonna fly level 210.
There we go. Those are all the checklist warnings. We don't follow those checklists anyway. Got paper versions. All right. I'm going to turn on to Bravo here. And then we'll do our checks and head to our gate.
American 1818, contact my center 126.52. 2652, American 1818.
All right, let's get parked for a second. So after landing lights are off, turn off lights are off, taxi light on, strobe light off, logo lights can stay on. Speed brake is disarmed, flaps 0. Auto brake is off. Transponder set to XPDR. Start the APU. Anti-ice can go off. And we'll make sure the weather radar and terrain radars are all off. Yep. All right, so we're going to taxi a little bit. We're parking over in this area. So we're going to go to Tango 3, which is the next one. And it should be directly forward, kind of around where that delta is, or just past that delta. Call GSX.
No, Miami, American 367,
Echo.
over X6.
367, my Roger.
Echo 3. Yeah, okay, Echo 3 will do. No, I'll find it.
2990,
Sure. Spirit? Really? God. That's horrendous. Alright, coming in here on Tango 3. So Echo will be the second one.
Was that 33.5 for flight jet 516?
133.5.
On our left. Oh, there she is. Right there ahead of us.
Blair 791 after Glade.
There's that Delta. Not sure if this is where Canada actually parks here, but big airplanes need big gates. So this is what I took. Alright, so as we come in, turn off the taxi light. Not seeing a dude. This is scenery for Florida, so he might be inside the building, depending on where GSX thinks he is. But we'll roll forward. To a little bit more. We'll go all the way up to there. There we go. And we are here. So let's get the parking brake on. So parking brake is set. We'll pop up top. APU is up and running. APU generators are on. APU bleed is set to go. We'll turn off the engine bleeds now. So fuel control switches can't come off. Electric hydraulic pumps are off. Fuel pumps are all off. Anti-ice is off. Beacon will come off. We'll leave logo will come off. It's daytime. Passenger signs are now off. Pop down here to the flight director. Now let's get chocks on. Let's get the ground power in, and we'll ask for the jetway. And while it comes out, we will get ourselves ready to deboard. Thanks for flying. Hope to see you on the return flight when we leave Fort Lauderdale in a week. And head back to our home base. See you on the next one. Bye for now.